Perry Como's Craft Music Hall will not be seen tonight, so that we may bring you the following special program.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. It's been called one of the top 3 real Comic-Cons in the USA. August 16th through the 18th. Discover Terrificon as it returns to the Mohegan Sun Expo Center in Uncasville, Connecticut. Terrificon showrunner Mitch Halleck has assembled his biggest and best comic creator guest list to date. Jim Lee, Scotty Young, Mark Waid, Adam Hughes, Jason Aaron, Charles Soule, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, Brian Azzarello, alongside legends like Chris Claremont, Jerry Ordway, Howard Chaykin, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Louise and Walter Simonson, Klaus Janson, Lee Weeks, and dozens more. Terrificon also brings you the actors who have brought your favorite superheroes to life on the big and small screens. Michael Rooker, Charlie Cox, Star Trek actors Walter Koenig, Nana Visitor, Armin Shimmerman, Ethan Peck, Celia Rose Gooding, and many more. That's Terrificon, August 16th through the 18th. For information on tickets and guests, visit Terrificon.com. How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here. Always happy to welcome another Chicagoan back. Brian Azzarello. Good to see you, man.
Hey, John.
Hey. Brian, I don't know if you knew this. You probably remember, initially Word Balloon was going to be like a video documentary, and you were one of the first people I interviewed for it. And
that was back when you were working at the radio station.
That's true. 2000, even before I started Word Balloon, 2004 is when we did it. And
I got to drive all the way out to like some like shit ass suburb, right?
I believe that's correct. I feel bad. My video guy didn't want to complete the project, but I'm sitting on these great interviews, and you were great, man. And truly, I'm making a podcast. And when podcasts were brand new, and you were among my first guests, so I appreciate you coming back as always and talking about new stuff.
Well, yeah, let's do that then.
All right. Here, a couple good evenings from the Peanut Gallery before we get started. And
peanuts.
Indeed. Let's talk about this new Western, man. Let me get to it. I got the cover standing by. Distillery. Did they approach you? How did you hook up with these guys?
Yes, they approached me.
Okay.
When they were just getting started. I mean, before they were getting started, it was, I'm a founding creator, as we are called.
I understand. Here it is, everybody. The Blood Brothers Mother. Pretty intense, man. Good, intense beginning. Is this a miniseries? Is it an ongoing?
4 issues.
4 issues. Very cool. I love the oversized format.
Right.
Riso.
Artists love it too. All the artists love it.
I'm sure. Absolutely, man. Gorgeous book. Beautiful. I'm just going to show the cover, but really, really cool story. Again, incredibly violent, which is good. Pretty disturbing family dynamic between the Blood Brothers and what they have to deal with and their mother. I want to keep it oblique in case people haven't read it yet. But great start. Really love it.
Thanks.
What was any inspiration other than, hey, cool Western? I mean, what do you want to say with this thing?
Jesus, it's basically, it's about boys' relationships with their father. Or fathers.
Yes. Interesting. Again, when people read it, they will see the dynamic that's happening here. Now, do you have a Western period in mind for this book, because I'm going to talk about one of your other great westerns, Loveless, in a minute or two. But I know that was like kind of turn of the century.
Loveless?
Well, or at least that's where it ended. Forgive me.
The last issue was turn of the century, yeah, but Loveless, for the most part, was Reconstruction.
Okay. Is this, where would you put this? I mean, they're kind of out in the wilderness, but
this was, Eduardo and I talked about it. There was a certain time period I wanted to set it in. He was like, I want to draw this kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, we could move it around.
Very John.
None of these stories that we do are like really like have to happen at a certain time.
I hear you, man. I don't know. I don't know what James. You'll forgive me, but he says he's looking forward to hearing about BBM. Is there a BBM? I was going to say, is that me or is that you, BBM? I know I worked at BBM, the radio station, but
Blood Brothers and Mother, you dummy.
See,
Oh my God.
You know that about me. Sometimes when it's right in front of you like that, All right, there you go. Well, James, if you have any questions about the book, I certainly want to hear about it. These are two young kids at a very impressionable age, but they're dealing with a lot of trauma, and the last thing they expected is some of the events of what happens in the book. Certainly in this open chapter, and I can only say that likely revenge is on the way.
I'd say.
There you go. All right, everybody's busting me now. Exactly. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Kari. And Doug. I'll take it. I'll take it on screen like a man. It's cool.
Oh my God! You also said 2 kids, and I let that one slide. There's 3 kids. Keep busting him. Keep busting him.
I was thinking, I don't know why I thought I was focused on 2 instead of 3. Shame on me. What can you tell us about the 3 kids?
That they're brothers. Maybe they're half brothers. That's all going to come out in the subsequent issues.
Okay, fair enough. Am I right? This is because Loveless was a different artist. This is the first Western you've done with Eduardo?
Yeah. Cool.
That's cool. God, what a long association. How did you guys first get together? I mean, I know it was 100 Bullets. I assume it was 100 Bullets. That was the first.
No, it was Johnny Double.
Johnny Double? Was it Johnny Double? Okay. Yeah. How did you guys first get together?
Axel Alonso put us together.
Had you seen his comics prior to you guys working together?
No. In fact, like Johnny Double, the script was approved. Everything was going through. It was time to pick an artist. This is back in, I don't know, 97, 98. I don't remember. Axel said, I'm going to fax you some samples because that's what speed was like back then. So hang up the phone and I'm going to fax you. Fax machine started whirling, here comes the, no. This was like the circular. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He said it was faxing me 3 artists. I still don't know who the other 2 artists were.
Okay. Funny.
Eduardo's pages came through first. I picked up the phone, called them back and said, this guy.
How long before you guys met face to face, you and Eduardo?
About 3 years.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. And then again, one of my favorites, Johnny Double. And I know we talked about it, if not our first conversation, one of our really early ones. Great kind of.
Go back and watch the video.
Exactly. I was going to say, well, it wasn't even video back then, man. It was you and me on audio way before I was doing video. But it was, I really loved it. And I wasn't aware of the character until I read your story. I know it was a Silver Age detective character that you played with, correct?
He was in one issue of Showcase. And then I think he had some sort of backup shit in Supergirl or something.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm going to have to find.
He was a character in Supergirl.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, classic
kind of noir detective, but you kind of made him a screw up in a fun way.
No, he was never classic. He was a screw up to begin with. That's what, like,
Was he?
sort of, yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I never read that.
he was like, well, it was the 60s and they were calling him a beatnik detective, but he wasn't a beatnik detective. He was much more 60s kind of.
No, I understand. It was, it's kind of like, Bob Haney. Bob Haney not quite getting the teenagers around him, and when he would try and do kind of relevant teen talk in Teen Titans and stuff like that.
I wouldn't just don't take out only Bob Haney. There's a few other guys you could take out.
Do you remember who the original Johnny Double writer was?
I think it was Kanigher.
Oh, there you go. Sure. Another guy like that. Absolutely, man. These kids today. Get a haircut, hippie. I understand.
I might be wrong. Though.
If somebody in the chat wants to correct us, feel free. That's totally fine. Well, honestly, and I told you this before we got started, I really do want to talk additionally about 100 Bullets. And there's a great group shot of a lot of the significant characters. By the way, the guy in the bandages, I don't know if you saw it, and I don't know if you have Turner Classic Movies, but they ran Dark Victory, Bogart and Bacall.
Oh, really?
And I love that. And when I saw your 100 Bullets arc with the no-face guy and the bandages and stuff, of course, I immediately thought of the Bogart movie. Was that your inspiration, or what? Were you aware of the movie back then, or were you a fan of it?
Of course, I was aware of the movie. Was it my inspiration? Actually, no. I would say more my inspiration for that character. I mean, I knew what I was doing as far as like Dark Victory, but it was Unknown Soldier.
I was going to say, and honestly, I mean, a comic book fan likely might know Unknown Soldier more so than Dark Victory and everything. But no, there you go. Well, you're well viewed, if not well read, and actually, I would say both likely. So hey, Wayne Allen Harold, there you go, from Ohio.
Cool, oh my God, Wayne.
That's awesome, man. I mean, it's the first time he's popped into one of my chats, so this is great. Big fan of his and all those guys. Yeah. No, they're fun guys, man. God, that Ohio. So, like, you grew up obviously Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
There you go. And I know that was Wayne's. That's still Wayne's city and everything. But
I was down in Kent, but I didn't meet Wayne till I was living here for a while.
Okay, there you go. Vertigo and getting started. First of all, was Johnny Double? Was it Vertigo or was it? Okay, there you go. And like, take me back to the beginning of 100 Bullets. How did you pitch it to Axel? I'm assuming. Did you go to Axel? Did you go to Karen Berger?
No, I went to Axel. I pitched 100 Bullets and Johnny Double. It was the same Sunday night.
Why? What? Like, wasn't
there Sofitel lounge out in Rosemont?
Okay. Was I mean, obviously, I guess Eduardo had to draw Johnny Double first, but like, yeah, I mean, because wasn't there like more than a year between the two?
Just about, maybe a little less.
Okay. And Eduardo was in right away. Did he pitch it to Eduardo, or did you pitch it to Eduardo?
Well, no. Like I said, I pitched Johnny Double and 100 Bullets at the same time, and Axel said, "I think we can get four issues over the finish line quicker than we can get 100 issues over the finish line. So let's go with this first," which we did. Then Eduardo came on board. Things did well. DC was very happy with what we were doing. They asked Axel what we were doing next, and there was nothing lined up. And we went with 100 Bullets.
Were they, did you tell them from the onset that I'd like to do 100 issues? Very ambitious. Or, did you have to pitch it one arc at a time? How did that work?
The contract was for just 12 issues.
Runaway hit right away?
Runaway.
Good enough, obviously, to pay your guys' costs. And
yeah, we made it to 100 issues, so I guess we were doing all right.
When did Dave Johnson join as cover artist from the start?
Issue 1. He did every cover.
Well, and forgive me, but this looks like Eduardo work. I
It
know
is.
that. Okay, I don't know if Dave did a composite of this to make. This is from the omnibus, I want to say. This group shot.
I don't know what he did this for originally. It might have been for, I don't remember. Might have been for Wizard.
Okay, yeah. How much did Dave be on the covers? Did Dave ever pitch ideas or anything as far as what he wanted to do, and what or made suggestions to you in
Just
terms
when
of
he wanted to be in it.
That's cool, and I don't blame him. I mean, really, the three of you guys are amazing. I even go back to something like Flashpoint, that was a good 10 years later or whatever, and this alternate take on Batman where Thomas Wayne, is the man who becomes Batman. An amazing story about Martha as well, and Bruce is the victim in Crime Alley.
Spoilers. Thanks.
Figured 15 years is okay. I can say that. Hell, man, it was even in the Flashpoint movie.
Was it?
Yeah, the animated movie. Yeah.
Huh.
All right, I mean, it's really like it's a short little sequence. Oh, you never saw it?
No.
Did they ever? 100 Bullets had to have been something that was considered for television or film. Wrong, right?
He's been optioned since. Man, I don't know. Early 2000s. Get a little bit of money, a little bit of money all the time.
Develop, like kind of option money or whatever, and then it lapses, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
Is it forget about it now at this point, or is it somebody sitting on the option still?
What do you mean? Forget about it.
In terms of is it still is there still the potential for it to become?
I mean, I'm sure that this option is going to lapse and then it'll get re-optioned by somebody else. That's just the way it works.
Okay. Any TV or film names that you would want to mention that for the minute had the option?
No. I mean, no. Why? The past is the past. There's been a few names, but who anymore? Who cares?
Kari has a question regarding Distillery. It's an amazing company. When you have some time, could you discuss working with all the other wonderful creators? Do you keep in touch and bounce projects off each other?
All the other creators are pretty wonderful. There is a forum that we all kind of have access to. Some people are more active on it than others. I would say I'm not very active.
Okay. That's Dave, the guys from Comixology that created Distillery, Mosier and Chip Mosier and David Steinberg. Steinberg? Is it Steinberg?
Steinberg.
I'm thinking of the comedian like an idiot. What's David's last name?
Let's see. Stein. It's longer than that.
Shame on me.
Oh my God.
I'm like Doc Rivers with my no hitter, but I'm throwing junk balls, and everyone's and thank God you're backing me up. And actually, Steinberger. Thank you. All right, I was close. Come on, man. That's funny. Wayne wants to know what artifact. There we go. What artifact is Brian's favorite of all the cool things that are behind him? Hey, I'll zoom in. What is that big picture behind you?
What?
Above you. Yeah.
It's some tattoo flash.
Oh, funny. That's cool. And a million tchotchkes behind you.
No, those are all tiki mugs.
That's excellent, man. That's fantastic.
That's a goat head.
The tiki. It's when you said that you pitched it in Rosemount. Was that the tiki lounge in Rosemount that you?
No. The Sofitel. The hotel.
Oh, Sofitel. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm with you. I don't know, man. You mumble. I don't know what the hell you're saying half the time.
Yeah, I mumble.
That's cool, man. Here we go. James wants to know, how much do you think about or coordinate on the art when you're writing the story? That's a good question.
In what way, James? Come back at me, James. Like, in what way? What do you really? I mean, what are you looking for?
Well, while James is formulating that question, do you are there specific, beyond the script? Are there specific visuals that you go, hey, Eduardo, this would be cool, or I'm thinking this, whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, you can draw. You're I don't know. Have you ever as an artist been published as an artist?
What do you mean published?
Well, like have your drawings been because don't you draw? Am I stupid again? I mean, yes, I am.
I painted for a while.
Yeah,
no,
that's what
like in comics. No, never, nothing.
Oh, it was fine art. I'm assuming.
I do not have that sequential bone. That's something that's incredible to me. By the way,
I hear you, man. Good. All right, hey, David Finn checking in, another podcaster, and he says huge thanks to you and Riso for 100 bullets. Amazing work. Love their work. Very cool. Yeah, man. I mean, truly, over the years, I've really appreciated the collaboration. I would imagine it's getting easier in terms of. Do you have I mean, are you obviously giving him less notes than maybe you did?
I do the same thing I always have.
Okay, that's cool.
But I've always been very, very sparse as far as my scripts go.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Let's see here. Well, and again, another great collaboration that you guys did, Spaceman. Fantastic sci-fi story. I'm a big fan of this, and also something you did.
Boy, did Vertigo drop the ball on that one.
Tell me in what way, bud?
They just didn't know what to do with it or how to promote it, or
Was that the first time that happened to you, where they were like, I don't get this, whatever?
No, they didn't know how to promote the Superman that Jim Lee and I did either.
Man, that is such an interesting story. For Tomorrow, I want to say, was the title of it, and as far as I know, you're the first guy that really had Superman in this crisis of faith moment in that story. And I thought that was really neat. I thought your depiction of the Phantom Zone was also really interesting. It's a thinking man, Superman. No disrespect to the people who crashing through the wall. As I always say, your classic tropes are like the TV show. He crashes through the wall. He stands there. Everybody shoots at him. Bullets bounce off him. He clunks their heads. He grabs Lois and he flies away.
You left a very, very important part out of your description right there.
Tell me.
The most important part to me.
Tell me.
Okay. They shoot at him. The guns are empty. They throw the gun and he ducks. Yeah.
Robert Wool. Great stand-up moment when he pointed that out. You're right about that, man. That's awesome. Were there flashbacks? Again, forgive me, and you heard my voice go up as I'm asking. Were there flashbacks to the Kents talking to Clark about religion and all in that?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so either. And that's it, and I just think because the Kents kind of represent that Judeo-Christian, just basic good ethic, do good deeds, because that's why we're here and everything. But yeah, did you ever, was there a reason why you didn't want to include the Kents other than the dead?
Man, I don't. Man, that was a long time ago.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, all right. James has a thought regarding the question about Riso. Do you guys think about it ahead of time? Do you have scenes that you've written for Eduardo to draw?
With Blood Brothers, yes. Because when he decided he was going to paint it, I'm like, well, we're going to have to keep a lot of this stuff outside. It's just going to work better, the vistas. So, yeah. But normally, I mean, no. We talk about, like, before we start a series, we'll talk about, how how do you feel about this? Do you want to do this? You know, one of the reasons why we do different things is because he doesn't want to repeat himself. You know, we finished Under Bullets, and it's like, okay, so here's some crime stories I still want to tell, and he's like, I don't want to tell any more crime stories.
So, and what was right after 100 Bullets with you guys?
I think we took a break. I think the next thing that we did was Spaceman, though. Together.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It might have been Flashpoint. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember the timing of those two either, but that makes sense. They were kind of around the same time. Well, another guy that you introduced me to because of your writing, and that's why I came to it, was Victor Santos with Filthy Rich. There we go. And man, I mean, goddamn, I much like Eduardo, immediately I'm a fan of Victor's, and he's been on the show, and I love Polar, and anytime he makes something new, he's got my full attention. So, I don't know, is that a guy that maybe another you'd collaborate with again?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I don't have that many more collaborations in me, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, on the back nine, John.
You're not that old. Shut up. I mean, seriously.
I'm old enough.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I think, do you not worry or whatever? Are you concerned that maybe your kind of stories and stuff of, you know, seen their best day? Because when you say that, I don't understand. I mean, literally, I think you can go on for another 10, 20 years if you want to.
20 years? No.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, yeah.
No.
Eisner certainly did.
I'm no Will Eisner. I've met Will Eisner. And sir, I'm no Will Eisner.
Did you ever talk to him? I really missed it. I only got to meet him once before I was doing the podcast when he was in Chicago for the Humanities Festival at the University of Chicago, and Neil Gaiman interviewed him on stage, and it was great because it was a real academic setting, so it was really casual. And then afterwards, they both hung out in the lobby, so I talked to them both. But did he ever talk to you about, like, was he aware of what you were doing? Did he, you know?
We talked, yeah. I mean, I don't know how aware. I mean, look, he was old when I met him.
Yeah, I understand. What are there older comic writers and artists that you've admired and that, you know, you got to meet before they went away?
Yeah.
Like?
I mean, I got to work with a few of them, you know, Joe Kubert, Richard Corbin.
Yes. And yes, Corbin. I see I got my Corbin cover because I really love your modernization of Cage and taking him from the yellow shirt and the tiara to make him a more of a 21st century character. That's a great book. But man, I'm so glad you mentioned Kubert because I forgot about that one, man. Fantastic Sergeant Rock story. And how did Joe feel about collaborating with you and everything? Did he give you story ideas? I mean, it starts and ends with Kubert when it comes to Sergeant Rock.
He asked me to write the story.
Wow. I had no idea. That's amazing, man. Fantastic Easy Company story. Definitely, man. Very, very cool. That's great. I only met him once, too. Fantastic handshake. Want to let you know, again, I'm still a strong guy, man. Exactly. Iron grip. Absolutely, man. Thank God Palmiotti and Amanda introduced me to Joe, and I'm thrilled that I got to meet him.
And the last time we talked was we talked about, he's like, you know, let's do something again.
Oh.
And talked about Enemy Ace.
Oh, that would have been great, man. Jesus. I loved that Russ Heath Enemy Ace from, you know, maybe a couple years before or after you guys did your Sergeant Rock thing. But I'm a big Enemy Ace guy.
That's the one he did that with Garth, right?
Yes, correct. Attaboy, Garth Ennis, indeed. Fantastic thing, man. Are there other not obvious DC characters that you would ever want to go back to and do stuff? No.
No, I think that ship has sailed.
Fair enough. There you go. Chikuroho remembers it was Enemy Ace War in Heaven. Absolutely. Fantastic story. He also asks, what lessons have you learned from writing when it comes to your earlier Vertigo Western comic Loveless? And thank you. Yes, he says, thanks for coming on a word balloon. I agree.
What have I learned? Obviously not enough to not do a Western again.
What's the problem with doing a Western?
They don't sell very well.
Do you worry about that?
No.
I was going to say
no, but the publishers do.
Was there concern from Distillery to do Blood Brothers Mother?
No, there wasn't. Which, kudos to them.
Yeah, man. No, that.
How about this, John? They're gonna hate me. It's sold out.
Hey, excellent, man. That's great. Outstanding. Jesus.
I'm jumping. They are going to be pissed. Sorry, Sean.
Why is that supposed to be a well-kept secret?
I think we're going to announce it tomorrow.
Oh, I see. Well, the good news is this. Well, I guess we're doing the video now, but I honestly, my audience is bigger on audio than video, so they won't hear it till tomorrow anyway. So that's nice. So everybody watching right now, you're getting an early sneak on that. That's great, man. Congratulations. That's wonderful. So good to hear. That's the thing, man. And again, this is something I want to ask you, because back when you were doing Johnny Double and 100 Bullets, Vertigo pretty much was the only game in town. Maybe I'm misremembering in terms of active publishers that were willing to take a chance at other genres beyond superheroes at that time.
When 100 Bullets started, no, they weren't. They were still sort of supernatural, fairies and elves and shit, 100 Bullets was reality based. Was the first thing that they did that was reality based. Okay.
All right. And then obviously we were talking off there, Jason Aaron followed with Scalped.
Yeah.
And became another great, crime reality based crime book and everything. Yeah, other than Stray Bullets, David Lapham, who was totally doing his own thing. I mean, I really feel like
that was his own. He was publishing it himself, wasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. And certainly now, really, and forgive the essay question, maybe it is, but really compare that time of, going, hey, I want to do these 2 crime books and stuff at Vertigo versus today. I mean, God, it seems like the genre is alive and well, and lots of people are doing it. Chris, I'm going to talk to a British guy that's got a great crime book from Mad Cave in the next couple of days.
Oh,
for example.
Who?
Oh, God damn it! Now you're gonna make me say his name. I can't think of it. I gotta look at my. I gotta look at my emails because he. No, it's all good. It's either I want to say his first name's Daniel, and that doesn't mean a lot other than it's his first name. But he approached me at C2E2, and he's like, "Hey, I got this cool Mad Cave crime book that I'm doing." I'm like, "Send me the PDF." And it looks great, and it read well, and I'm like, I want you on my show.
Good.
He's based in Spain. British guy that's based in everyone's moving to Spain to avoid the taxes, I guess, in England. And
man, I'll tell you what, Spain is filthy with the British.
Pat Mills, I want to say, is in Spain, I believe.
I think Bucky's still down there.
Mark Buckingham, very cool. Yeah, man. Jeez. You've had to have been. I mean, I would think that all your stuff plays very well in other parts of the world beyond North America.
Sure.
Because it is all these other genres. And, I don't know how well superheroes do beyond, again, North America and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have something in common with Jerry Lewis.
A genius in France.
Yes.
Thank you, Kari. Kari knows the guy I'm talking about, Daniel Jimeno. Very good. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. He was very sweet. He approached me, he heard my voice. He recognized the voice right away. It's like Pavlovian.
You've got that radio voice, John.
It's true. It's very true. Me and Gary Owens is absolutely true. Dude,
no one gets that reference.
Well, you did though, but it's like Bendis always shits on me for stuff like that. It's like, it's fine. It's for us, dude. Much like you write for what you want to write, I talk about the things I want to talk about. Last night I had. Do you know Gabe Hardman? Are you friends with Gabriel?
No.
Or friendly at all? Do you know him at all, or you're aware of him?
No, maybe I do, but I can't.
All right. First of all, Wayne also got the reference. Thank you.
Okay,
Wayne.
of course Wayne did. Yeah.
That's why I like those guys, man. You know, seriously, exactly. Last night I did a show with Gabe, and we talked about the horrible Sam Peckinpah movie Convoy from '78 or whatever. Yeah. But as we were discussing it, or when we were prepping for it, I had no idea. I knew that he wrote TV Westerns. He made this Brian Keith show. It only lasted half a season. It was called The Westerner, and it is one of the darkest, grittiest things that I have ever seen. And again, CBS canceled it because it was too violent. But all 13 episodes are on YouTube, and it's like cowboy noir. It really is. It really is. Oh, that's nice. Tony Maldonado, another great Chicagoan. Oh, just getting it. Good to see it, Tony. See? Yeah, people actually watch me, Brian. I don't know how to break it to you. But it's just really interesting, and certainly a 180 from Family Affair and The Parent Trap for Brian Keith. But it's
Uncle Bill was kind of a shithead.
French, you watch the kids. So I'm going to go out and have a date. And Sissy, you know, I blew it. Sissy was at the oldest sister, Kathy, not Kathy Griffin. I can't remember her last name again. Chad.
It doesn't matter.
Well, she was Firestar in Spider-Man. Kathy Garvey, Firestar and her amazing Spider-Man and his amazing friends. She was the voice, and I so blew it because as a little kid, I was all over Family Affair. It doesn't hold up, but she was at a Comic-Con. She was at Terrificon actually, where you're going to be in August. But yeah, I kind of blew it. I would have been happy to talk to her about Sissy. That's like when I met.
Is she dead?
No, she's still. No, she does a great, terrible commercial for phones that have giant like buttons.
Well, then maybe you get another chance.
Maybe
you're getting another chance with Sissy, John. Maybe Mrs. Beasley.
I was going to say, making my move. Yeah, Mrs. Beasley. My sister had a Mrs. Beasley. No one knows what you're talking about, Brian. I'm kidding. You know, one of my favorite.
Buffy's dead, man.
That's sad. Yeah, Nisa Jones. Yeah. Johnny Whitaker's still with us. Jody, the boy, and apparently Sissy.
What was it? The Littlest Angel.
Nice. Wow. And he was Huck Finn in a made-for-TV movie, I want to say.
And it was, I don't remember his name, it's Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. But.
Yes. Oh, by the way, all right, Bryce, sorry, man, but you're killing me with this stuff. Tubi, the streamer with commercials, they have pretty much every live-action Sid and Marty Krofft TV show, not just Puff and stuff, but they got the Bugaloos and the Krofft Super Show and all those horrible shows. So if you want to have a painful childhood memory, I recommend checking that out on Tubi.
No, that's what dreaming is.
Are you? How much do you watch of old stuff? Do you ever go back and watch old Hollywood or old TV or whatever?
Occasionally, not a lot.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Let's see. Wayne was excited for the Mrs. Beasley reference. Come on, man, classic doll. Jesus.
Can you imagine getting Mrs. Beasley and Billy Baloney and like?
That's why your parents kept you away from other kids, Brian. Exactly.
I don't have a Mrs. Beasley, but I do have a Billy Baloney.
I don't remember Billy Baloney. What was Billy Baloney?
Wayne, tell him who Billy Baloney was.
Feel free, Wayne. Give me the rundown on Billy Baloney. That's fantastic. Who's your horror host in Cleveland for horror movies?
We had more than one. We actually had 4.
Go for it.
There was Houlihan and Big Chuck. They were on CBS Channel 8.
Okay.
And then the two UHF channels. 61 was the Ghoul.
I remember the Ghoul. I've seen the Ghoul.
43 was Superhost.
Okay, that's cool.
I think we had the original, actually. The original horror host was Ghoulardi.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I'm hip to him.
Yeah.
You know, I did Svenguli's panel a couple weeks ago at C2E2, and I always want to talk to him about, you know, the club of the great horror.
I'm not sure who came first, Ghoulardi or Zachary. I think it was Ghoulardi, though.
Was Ernie Anderson the Love Boat? Was he Ghoulardi?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Well, you know, I just want to make sure.
Good guy.
There we see Maldonado helping me out. American Scary is a great documentary about the Horrors. Absolutely, man.
No,
and I kind of love that Rich Coe's Svengoolie is still doing it and doing it well, and I love that he's national now, and people are, you know, beyond Chicago are appreciating what he does. Yeah, it's on MeTV, syndicated. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, man! You know, it was cool when I first interviewed him. We did a video interview, and Joel Hodgson from Mystery Science Theater is like, "Can I say hi to him?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." Before we start rolling, and he shakes his hand vigorously, and he's like, "I got to tell you, of course, you're an inspiration of what we do." And he's like, "You know, I'm in LA, and I got a lot of stand-up friends, and even Jerry Seinfeld knows who you are and thinks you're great." And it's so great because, you know, Rich is much like these guys, UHF guy, tinfoil on the rabbit ears so we could pull it in better without snow. I'm like, and now you're like a national institution. Mark Hamill's a big fan of his. DiDio's a big fan of his. That's how they did that Svengoolie Justice League comic book back in the day. So Maldonado says Zachary might have been first.
Okay.
There you go. So absolutely, man. Hilarious. Back to you. A couple other great things that you did. I mean, you know, I don't know how many mainstream things you did, but one of the things I loved was Entangled Web, when you fleshed out Crusher Hogan, the wrestler that takes on Spider-Man in the origin story and everything. And we really learned his full backstory. And yeah, I didn't realize Scott Levy, I guess. Am I right? Scott Levy was your artist? Or
No, Giuseppe Camicoli was the artist.
All right, pardon me, Camicoli. Very cool. It's a great story.
Scott Levy was who I worked with. His wrestling name was Raven.
Oh, sure. Of course. Oh, so did he kind of co-write the story with you and everything?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I know you love wrestling. Are you still an active watcher? AEW, WWE, and all?
I watch it. Yeah.
There you go. I loved it. Were you ever interested in doing any of the boxing DC or Marvel characters, Wildcat or Jack Murdoch or things like that?
No.
Well, then you depress me.
No, it doesn't translate well. That's why, like you say, Wildcat, most people scratch their head.
You know, Stephanie Phillips just did a great Wildcat story a couple of years ago for DC's Valentine or anthology of stories and stuff.
Really? How many pages was that?
10.
10 pages. That's probably what he's had in the past 24 months.
You're probably right. But yeah, I know. You want to come with me a week from Saturday and watch Tyson Fury and Usyk fight each other? I know a great bar that has it for free.
No.
All right, fine.
No.
You're disappointing me, but okay, that's fine. Oh, that's hilarious. Wayne says, I have to F, marry, and kill for Brian. I'm assuming F Thelma Ritter, marry Shirley Booth, kill Mary. Oh, I see. He wants you to Thelma Ritter, Shirley Booth, or Mary Wicks. Fuck, marry, or kill. No.
That's hard.
From a comedic talent standpoint, and I really do appreciate all three of them. To me, Thelma Ritter is just a slight edge over Shirley Booth and Mary Wicks, and I do think all three of them are great character actresses.
Yeah, but that's not what he's asking.
I understand. Well, you know,
I think Thelma would be the one that would
you kill. Mary Wicks and Shirley Booth, thank you. She's so Thelma Ritter in both like two of my favorite roles of hers. Rear Window, she's amazing as Jimmy Stewart's therapist, and her little 5 minutes in Miracle on 34th Street of one of the mothers. Hey, what are you doing, mister? I went all up and down this Macy's and I can't find the toy. Oh, go to Kimball's. Good stuff, man. Oh God. Now, Brian, who are the local Cleveland territory promoters pre WWE?
Oh God, I don't know. I think it was called World Championship Wrestling. Like when I was a kid.
Yeah. Because
but then like when I was like high school into college, it was NWA that would come up there. So it was the stuff from Georgia. Not WWE. That was not coming to Cleveland.
No, they didn't come to Chicago either, man. We had Bob Luce here in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, you had the stuff from Minnesota, right?
Well, I don't know if Moose Cholak was from Minnesota or not, but he. I mean, if there's anybody that would have been from Minnesota, I would think it was him. But I don't know.
Those guys all moved around. I mean, you say Moose Cholak, he come to Cleveland too.
The Crusher
territory. I think it was World Championship Wrestling.
Okay, this guy that I'm friends with was telling me he's going to put me in touch with the guys that are still around that worked with Bob Luce locally here in Chicago, and that was Dick the Bruiser and the Valiant Brothers and the Crusher, guys like that. And again, I'm sure they were
Detroit.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right. Tony asks, my apologies if this was asked about earlier. He was wondering if you're ever going to revisit Mizaroth from the North Star days. He was a fun character.
I don't think so. No, the only character I would revisit, the only horror character, is Andrew Rev
from
the North Star days.
Oh, I see. Okay. He's bummed. But what are you going to do? All right, fair enough.
Nobody got that fucking joke?
Sorry, son. I don't know what to tell you. He says he's good with that too. Yeah. But yeah, like, do you think have other beyond Distillery, has Mad Cave come after you? Has trying to think of Vault, some of the other publishers that are willing to play with other.
Martz is at Mad Cave, and he's like reached out to me. I just don't have time right now, you know. I've got another book coming out from Boom.
Great.
But other than that, most of my time right now is like I'm spending it on Distillery. I'm a founding creator, which means I'm a part owner. So I'm putting all of my time into that because I want it to succeed.
Sure. So will there be other titles from Distillery that you'll be doing then?
Why, yes, there will.
How close are we to this Boom book coming out?
Boy, not till October, I think.
Okay. Is it too early to announce who the artist is, or that's something Boom? You'd rather let Boom.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. No worries. That's fine. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
However, somebody that I have been wanting to work with for a while, and I'm very excited by what she's been doing so far.
Oh, this artist that is right now going to be unnamed. Very cool. That's great, man. That's excellent. I want to go back to Loveless. And again, now, how did you get with, and forgive me, I can't read my own.
Marcelo Fruzen.
Thank you. How'd you get with him?
We did Hellblazer for 3 years. You are like really not good at this tonight, man.
I'm sorry I'm off my game, son.
You are. You really
I
are.
apologize. I apologize. There you go. I had forgotten about that. Of course, your great run on Hellblazer. One of the good ones. Yeah.
When we were done with Hellblazer, I wanted to do a Western. He was a big fan of Westerns. Loveless came out of that.
Okay, that's cool. Are there Western authors or filmmakers that were big influences in what you put in Westerns?
Maybe originally, maybe with Loveless there was. I mean, Loveless was the story. No, the but the feel we wanted was very spaghetti western. Is what we wanted.
Okay, that's cool. You know, did you ever? Again, this Peckinpah thing that I went through. I was thinking about all those great 50s and 60s, both film and television westerns, and guys like Bud Bedecker and Anthony Mann from a film standpoint. You know, I want to say Darren Dalton was his name, the guy from Bonanza that wrote like 500 Bonanza episodes through 12 years or whatever.
How do you say that sounds good?
I'll be happy to tell you that, because honestly, I do think they were good characterization. I think they were basically anthologies disguised as a regular series because it was the problem of the week. And yeah, I do think the acting, and I do think some of those stories are really good, especially earlier Gunsmoke. I think after CBS complained about violence on TV, they really toned Gunsmoke down. It basically became the Waltons set in the 1880s or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what I came for. I came for
what was that, like 30 years before the Waltons was really set?
Exactly.
I don't even remember what that. I mean,
the Waltons was Depression era. No, about 50 years.
Waltons Mountain.
Yeah, no, you're right. But no, I think there were. I mean, God, they dealt with racism on westerns. They managed to, much like Serling in the Twilight Zone.
Whoa! Now let's talk about this. I mean, how do you think westerns dealt with racism?
There's a great, specifically Bonanza. Ricardo Montalban played a Native American who decided that he wanted to Anglo himself more, so he cut his hair and he tried to get in town. And the tribe shunned him for leaving the tribe. And of course, the white people didn't accept him. And it was this really kind of cool, edgy, I mean, Don't get me wrong. It was also still the 60s. So you had Hop Sing, the houseboy.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't disagree. I don't deny that. It's not perfect, here we go. All right. So again, I like. Oh, there you go. Yeah, man. Let's talk for a minute about Batman Damned. God, it got all the vibe for it for the wrong reasons. When you guys had the unedited Batman's Crank show up, and again, it was a goddamn Black Label book. Oops, I guess, I don't know, but another great collaborator, at least Bermejo, you and Lee Bermejo.
It's the only Black Label book.
Dude, I'm telling you, not only your stories about Bruce Wayne Batman in comics, but also even that great animated short that you did for it was something Urban Night. I forget what it was called. The DVD that had all the shorts.
Oh,
Gotham Night, maybe.
Yeah.
But that was Jesus with Batman in the sewer, surrounded by the guns, and God, that was pretty poignant stuff. Of course, the Killing Joke adaptation as well. Are you done with Batman?
I think DC would say yes.
Was there that kind of backlash from Damned or
from Dan?
Damned.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
What are you going to do? Would you want to still do Batman if given the opportunity?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, John, I'm on the back nine.
Well, and listen, man, you should be writing the stories you want to write, and of course,
that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely, man, 100%. No, I absolutely respect that.
But Lee and I were talking this week, and he's finishing up his project, and like, well, what do I don't know.
That'd be great.
And like there is something that maybe we would do at DC, and he summed it up really. It's like they would say yes, and then they wouldn't let us do it. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're right.
You agree with DC not, wanting to do it, or
I think DC is a different company than it was when I worked there on a regular basis.
understood? No, I understand. And I kind of feel that way about Marvel, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
They're certainly careful. God, I mean, I'm stunned that Garth just put out another Fury book. And, I'm like, wow. Because, again, there's another guy, much like you with Batman Damned, that got some bad flack for it. It's like, well, this is supposed to be an adult comic.
John, there has never been anyone that's gotten flack like Lee and I did for Batman Damned. Don't put anybody in that position.
Okay. I accept that. And certainly you're right. I mean, that's, hey, you had Bruce's penis right there for everyone to see. I mean, and you're right. So I can appreciate that. Sure, man. Absolutely. I mean, Garth had Nick Fury passed out, surrounded by a bunch of drunken hookers and stuff like that. But
that's a little bit different. Did we see his dick?
We did not see his dick. You are
all right.
Fair enough. Fair. G. Caro points out another great collaboration he had with Richard Corbin. What was Corbin like, man? I'm bummed I never had the opportunity to talk to him. I'm a fan of his, going back to Den and heavy metal and everything.
He was very soft-spoken, real sweet guy. Not what I was expecting at all.
Given his output, yeah,
I was expecting when I met him to meet, Simon Bisley of the Heartland. That is not who I met.
Tyler has an observation. He says, I read that Batman Damned was heavily censored, not just the Bat Wang controversy. How different would it have been if you had full creative control? Is that true? Was there other things?
Later issues, yeah. Oh, yeah. The first issue came out. If you happen to pick up the very first issue, you got the Black Label version. And then things got tighter. Second issue, third issue, definitely.
Wow, that's too bad, man. Because again, I think all your Batman stuff was it Broken City from Wednesday Comics?
No, Wednesday Comics was Wednesday Comics.
Broken City was a different story. You'll forgive me.
That was a Batman arc that we did.
And who was the artist? Forgive me, on Wednesday Comics. Remind me.
Maybe you've heard of him, Eduardo Riso.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I'd forgotten that Eduardo.
Man. John, where's your staff?
You're never coming back, are you? I understand. I don't blame you.
Your staff, really, they got to get on the ball here.
I don't know how much, and again, I have a feeling, Tyler, that Brian is going to want to wait for Boom to make the announcement about the Boom book. But he says also Faithless is great, and absolutely, sure, I agree with that.
Okay, thanks.
I'm not even going to jump at the artist on Faithless because
Maria Lovett.
Oh, there you go. All right, cool. Geez.
What's it about? He wants to know what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can say, man.
It's a horror story.
Okay, that's cool. Was it American Gothic? What was your other horror story that you did? Not American Gothic, something like that.
What?
I don't know. What a horror story that you did in the last 10 years. Shit, I don't remember.
What, I did a horror story in the last 10 years?
I thought you did. No?
I mean, there are people that think I've done horrible stories in the last 10 years.
Shut up. That's not what I mean, and you know it. Exactly. Michael is correct. I need an Alfred. Absolutely, I do. It's very true. Jesus. What are you doing other conventions before Terrificon in August?
Niagara. Niagara Falls.
Cool. That's cool. That's excellent. When is the second issue of the Distillery book coming out?
July? Is that right? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what the schedule is for these things.
Okay. Also, I love the fact too. Not only is it oversized in terms of format, but also it's like a 55-page story as well, right?
Yeah.
That's great, man. No, that's excellent. Will they all be that long?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
when
cool.
this is done, this is going to be 180 some 200 pages.
Cool.
All done.
Fantastic, man. That's so great to hear. And really, man, I'm so glad that again your crowd came out for the book and it sold out. That's amazing.
Yeah,
See, back now.
Westerns do sell. Maybe they're not as big as you want.
No, that's great, man. Again,
and look, this book is something that he and I have been when we pitched to each other, we were talking about Moonshine and this at the same time. And it's like, Moonshine's going to be about 30 some issues, 36 issues. And then there's this, it's a shorter story, but we both were kind of like, this one's Blood Brothers, like it's going to be a lot more intense. And maybe we need to be older, which is the weirdest thing, but it's true.
In terms of when you say you need to be older, what do you mean?
We wanted the perspective of being a little bit older to tell this story.
Okay. All right. Is there a genre that you haven't tackled yet, like a military story or, well, Sergeant Rock, of course, you're right. Was that it for you? I mean, again, that's rock. I don't know. I guess I was thinking more naval rather than, and I don't mean oranges. In terms of another class of the military beyond the Army.
I want to do a YA book.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Tell me.
I pitched Loveless as YA. I mean, not Loveless, Faithless.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. Do you want to do? Go ahead.
Sierra was like, Han was like, I think maybe you should go the other direction of YA. It's like, maybe we'll, how do you feel about going like really hard R? I'm like, I could do that in my sleep.
I was going to say, you're comfortable.
I do that in my sleep. But.
Absolutely. Tyler says, what I loved about Batman Damned was how you brought all the Vertigo occult characters into Batman. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was fun. That was something that Lee wanted to do.
That's cool. Again, the Joker story is amazing. And I really loved, and I know we've talked about it in the past, Lex Luthor, Man of Steel. And I thought my favorite issue of that is when he's having lunch with Bruce. Yeah. And it's like this idiot, this fop, whatever, and not realizing who he's talking to is really, I love the subtext of all that. I thought that was fantastic. This is interesting. Can you quantify the difference between Vertigo and Black Label?
Well, no. I mean, look, there were dicks in Vertigo. Batman's dick was never in Vertigo. It never would have happened.
Did you ever want to put DC characters in a Vertigo book, and they're like, no, we're not going to do
that? It became more difficult because of copyright issues. Like once you were doing creator-owned stuff, to put one of their characters in a creator-owned book was there was a lot of hoops. And it just became not worth it.
Okay. Because I love when I talk to Matt Wagner, he always brings up with Madame Xanadu. He didn't care. He just threw Golden Age characters in, and it's like, yeah, too bad.
But Madame Xanadu was theirs anyway.
That's true too. That's true.
It was 100% DC characters.
But would you have pitched the Superman story or one of your Batman stories as a Vertigo without it being creator owned?
I don't know. I think arguably, I think Joker was a Vertigo book. I mean, definitely. I haven't. I don't change my approach to things. You know,
But you would,
I know where the guardrails are. Like, you know,
sure. But
I
you
think,
would,
I mean, like the Hellblazer arc, the last one or the one I did, there was a character like his nemesis was his name Stanley Wayne Manor.
oh, that's hilarious. I didn't remember that.
You know, I mean, like,
Is there, well, and as I was going to ask, your YA thing, and again, I understand you know where the guardrails are, but yeah, that would be the last thing I would expect from, given your body of work, that you wanted to do a YA. Do you still want to do a YA book at some point?
I don't know. Like I said,
Faithless passing thought.
back nine. I don't know what
Okay.
I don't know what I want to do. You know, my time is very limited.
I get that, and
I want to spend it doing what I want to do.
Hey man, that's what we want from you. Again, we're willing to be surprised by whatever genres you want to do or the types of stories and everything. Yeah, that's great. No, that's great to hear. Are there other artists that you are going to collaborate with that you've haven't yet but always wanted to? That might be name artists. You don't have to name them, but I'm just, you know.
Are there artists that I want to collaborate with that I haven't? I'm collaborating with one right now. I'm very happy to be collaborating with. Like her work is something that I've admired for a while. I was like, man, I could definitely tell a story with this woman. Other than her, I don't know. I think I'm closing the book. I'm going to work with people I've worked with before.
Sure. Dave doesn't do interiors at all, Dave Johnson, right?
We did a story together. I know. Like I said, man, your staff is awful. Awful.
I have no problem with you beating me up on this stuff because truly, you're right, and I feel horrible.
No, Dave and I did something. God, what's the name of that publisher? They do the rock and roll books, and it was the Anthrax book.
Oh my God, that's crazy! How long ago was that?
Just a couple years.
Okay, because I was thinking like I don't even know who the current rock and roll publisher is. You know, I was
thinking, like, is it Z? It's something with.
Yes, and I do know who you're talking about, and shame on me. It's the, of course, the publisher's not coming to my mind, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Ian Sattler put it together, and he like called me, and it's like, and it's like, how many? It was, I think it was 8 pages or something.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you know what? And he's like, who do you want to draw it? I'm like, let me ask somebody if they want to draw it, and he did. So
that's great.
Yeah,
that's outstanding. Michael says, I hope Brian gets the time to write everything that he wants to. He's a good writer, as you are a curmudgeon.
How am I being a curmudgeon? I think I'm being like kind of.
You're being
Get off
funny.
my lawn, kid.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's listen. I've known Brian for pretty much the entire time I've been doing Word Balloon, and I have no problem with Brian pointing out when I drop the ball. And I am the worst quarterback right now in the NFL tonight, so I can appreciate that.
Butterfinger Centris.
Is that true? Certainly tonight. There you go. The Michael says stop fixating on my staff. Well, I don't have any staff, unfortunately. Exactly. Yes, Z2. Thank you, Tad. Yes, Z2 is the publisher, of course.
Thanks, Tad.
You're a good man. Absolutely, man. That's awesome. What is this? Brian, today, you're the same guy, I guess, that you were 26 years ago, just more awards.
Okay.
That's what Tony says. Okay.
Candy's never wrong.
That's excellent. Well, we can wrap. I because I don't think I can handle any more abuse tonight. But
What abuse?
I'm messing with you.
You
like
want abuse? Let's lie. Let's lie.
One I did want to mention, another great thing that I loved, and I also loved your whole when they first announced it, when you did First Wave, which combined the pulp heroes with Batman.
That didn't work.
I liked it.
Didn't work.
Was it frustrating to write, or were there? And also, you were dealing with Street and Smith. Were they vetting what you put out there? They're the guys who have Doc Savage in the Shadow.
No. I mean, the stuff that really didn't work. I mean, like the Eisner estate for like the Spirit, they were great. And
Right, the Spirit as well. Yeah.
Street and Smith were great too, but it didn't work because fans don't care about those characters. They just don't give a shit.
Those, and then truly, you made the point in the presentation, because I'm like, who's this book for? You're like, I have no idea. Maybe you, and that's about it. Again, I read all that stuff in the 70s, the paperback reprints of all the pulp stuff. I love that stuff. But it's, sometimes I think the rights holders keep that stuff on the shelf for so long that then all of a sudden those characters become obscure and they don't connect anymore.
I don't know, John. I think those characters, like given what they became, like Doc Savage begat Superman.
Sure.
Shadow, Batman. I'm sorry, but Batman, Superman, those kind of characters, visually, they're much more exciting.
That's fair. From a visual standpoint, sure.
So like that, and Doc Savage is a weird character. In what way? He's the greatest in the world at everything. He's the best.
Right.
Like me at 19. So
no, but
but he has all these other guys around him that are supposed to be the best at what they do, but he's better than every one of them.
Right. That's true. Yeah, but in a different way, I always give it up to Ram V. Have you talked to Ram? Have you met Ram and spent any time with him? I'm a big fan of his writing, and what I like is he will take classic foreign intrigue tropes and put a modern spin on them. These Savage Shores, I think, is a fantastic book where things, you got the 19th century white vampire going to Mumbai and figuring, it's going to be a feeding frenzy for me. And it certainly is.
What? Hey, Mom, I challenge you to make Doc Savage interesting. I challenge you. I don't think you can do it.
I can appreciate that. Michael says Doc Savage needed no team other than to help repair his strip shirts.
I mean, like the best Doc Savage reboot is Buckaroo Banzai.
I never thought of it that way. Now I'm going to rewatch.
Never thought of that?
No. I don't know. That Peter Weller doesn't look like Ron Eli.
But it's the same sort of thing.
I hear you. Well, and I agree with Michael as well. Tom Strong, very much like Doc Savage.
Yeah, but he had a monkey sidekick.
That's true. That's very like George of the Jungle. Kari says she's looking forward to seeing you at Terrificon. What's your go-to beverage or snack that I can drop by your booth for you? Oh, that's nice. Kari, also a podcaster.
I like craft beer, Kari.
Oh, there you go. I don't know my Connecticut microbreweries, but I'm sure they have some fine ones.
Man, let me think. I don't know either. But also, you're stuck inside a casino, so that the things change.
Are you ready to karaoke with me in Connecticut? Because they got a great karaoke room. You don't say no. You're supposed to say yes.
I don't think so.
Well, that's disappointing. I didn't realize. Wayne says that, Buckaroo is a Doc Savage parody. I had no idea.
How did you?
I don't know what to tell you. The drugs were very heavy when I saw Buckaroo Banzai. The monkey counter argument defeated again by Brandon Superior. I am the monkey in this equation. That goes without saying. Sadly, the pulp heroes skip too many generations to still be relevant. Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely agree.
I mean,
I never read. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I mean, it's just it's like Greek gods in some respect, you know. Those stories just like they lose traction after a while, you know. I talked to when I was doing the Doc Savage stuff, and,
Yeah.
I talked to a Doc Savage historian because I really wanted to get into this stuff, and it's like there's
Sure.
there's 82 books.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, and he's like, "There's 4 stories."
4 types or 4 great stories?
No, there's 4 types of stories.
Gotcha.
It's like
Okay.
there's this one, this one, this one, and this one. Read
Sure.
this, and this, and you'll understand.
I read Philip Jose Farmer's Doc Savage, His Apocalyptic Life.
Yeah.
And also, I blew it. I had so many conversations with Denny O'Neil, and there's so many other things to talk about. But I remember with when he did the 80s Doc Savage story with the Kubert brothers. Yeah, I blew it because I would have, again. Sure, and Will Murray. I love Will Murray's Doc Savage stories over the years. But I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree. It is hard, but yeah, I just feel like the right writer can maybe bring those things to life. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts.
I don't think that anybody's going to be interested in the life. That's the problem. You know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I don't even want to open this can of worms, but why not? I mean, that's why, like, superhero comics right now are kind of dying because the movies are doing them better.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. Do you? Have you?
They're only doing them better because the CGI now, the spectacle that people liked about reading comics, now it's bigger and better on the screen.
But would you agree? Because honestly, I've been talking to guys and women that are doing both comics and television and film writing. We need a better Act 3. I really think the CGI just, fight stuff. We've been getting it since the first Iron Man movie in modern day. And it's like, I really think that one of the reasons why the movies aren't doing well is we've been on this roller coaster before. We know those trappings, and I think they need a more inventive third act. As a writer, what do you think of what I'm saying?
I think you're right, but I don't think that's going to happen until the budgets shrink. I mean, the amount of money that is being invested in these things, that Act 3's got to play, we need as many people as we can get in the theaters not to like it.
Well, haven't we been seeing that the last year or two in terms of what Warner's and Disney have put out there?
What does Warner put out?
Well, that Flash movie from last summer. It's kind of a divisive movie. Did you like it?
I didn't see it.
Well, there you go. But I could see that. I'm sure you're kind of done with superheroes or whatever. I could be wrong, but
I can tell you I've never seen a Marvel movie.
Really? Okay.
I saw the first Iron Man one. And then
Okay.
I saw Logan. And Logan definitely suffers from that third act thing. It's like, why are these kids running? Because as soon as they figure out not to run, they destroy everyone.
I can appreciate that. Oh, Michael, all right. I guess we've opened a can of worms real fast. The question about updating pulps. Do you see them in their original time or bring the pulp heroes to modern times? In fact, James Patterson kind of tried to do that with a Shadow in a recent novel, and I don't think to very good success.
No. Man, when I did it, I tried to make it that Batman animated timeless era.
Yeah.
But there are cell phones and Packards.
Right. No, I remember in First Wave. Absolutely, man. I like that. James has something interesting to say regarding the pulp stuff. He certainly will get a Pulp Hero cinematic universe attempt once those characters fall into the public domain. Not that that will succeed. So yeah, it's interesting. We are kind of finally getting past Sonny Bono's attempt to keep stuff licensed, forever. Any thoughts of on the stuff going to public domain like that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like some of that stuff, they tried to, how many times have they tried to reboot James Bond? Novel wise,
Yes. Yeah. A couple Chicago writers, actually.
Yeah, and none of it's that successful. But to my point, the movies are good because the movies are giving the what everybody wants out of James Bond.
I agree with that. Absolutely. And I do think that certainly, 60 years later, 62 years later, that, it's more about the movies than certainly about the novels. So I can appreciate that. Last year we had a writers panel and the subject of AI came up and you had a very, I think, at least as I remember the panel, kind of a pessimistic view of how that's going to impact. Do you still feel that way about writers? Because I understand from an artist standpoint, and I don't like it. You basically, truly, you said we're fucked. All they're going to do now is generate AI. And again, forgive me if I'm misquoting you, but essentially that they're gonna go to AI in terms of coming up with new stories. But go ahead. Well, first of all, on that, I'll tell you my counter feeling on that.
Well, I think I was talking specifically with company-owned characters.
But you yourself, as I pointed out with For Tomorrow, and even that Batman animated short that you did, I really think people like you and other really good writers, they find these little quirks that aren't obvious. And I don't think an AI,
that's all cool and good, but it's and thank you. But when that stuff happens, like For Tomorrow, when it came out, it wasn't that well received. There was a lot of blowback on that thing. And Broken City too. There was tons of blowback, but those stories have legs.
Yeah,
and so it's just let the thing finish, just let it sit there, and then it'll get its own life.
I agree, and I understand that they're about how do we do last month, the big two.
Oh yeah.
But again, I think and also, would you ever with creator own want to do like the way that Wade did his Superman stories that would have with Boom that never would have gotten to be Superman stories, but you had a character like him or or a street level of vigilante, next. Is that it? Or you don't give a shit?
No,
I can understand. Fair enough.
I don't. It's funny because I see that kind of as well, I'm going to take my Superman stories and change his name to Supreme, whatever.
Right.
But that's not the way I approach my work. It's I'm going to take my stories and try to make this fit in Superman. It's it's the opposite.
No, I get it.
I want to tell a story about somebody who is responsible for Tomorrow, for example, who feels responsible for the world and fucks up.
Yeah. Well, Tyler points out that Warren Ellis in Planetary made Doc Savage interesting as an analog. Also, this Fantastic Four, I think, as well. And so I thought that was a good modern spin on some classic heroes and everything.
Warren was good at that. Yeah. But again, he made it happen a couple issues.
I can appreciate that. Well, here, bud. I mean, you've been very kind with your time. We can wrap up. Again, everybody, you got to grab it, and maybe you can't because it's sold out. But
no, I think listen, the way the direct market works, we all know this. Sold out means you can't get it from the distributor.
There you go.
Should still be in your comic shop.
There you go, everybody. The Blood Brothers Mother. Did it drop last Wednesday or this Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. I'm an idiot. Last Wednesday, of course. Idiot. Got to drop the ball one more time before we wrap up. Absolutely. Oh, that's fun. Hey, all right, real fast, man, if you don't mind, unless you want to get the hell out of here. Dr. 13. Yes, and your kind of comment on really the meta story of Dr. 13 and the world builders that were, doing 52 and stuff. The architects. Thank you. Excuse me. Yeah. Did Wade or Rucka or anybody like, hey, fuck you, man?
One of them got really upset.
Did they really? I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not saying which one.
That's fine. It's okay.
And also put Grant in there, so it's not just between the two of them.
Right. Okay.
And Jeff. There's four of them.
Yeah, so it's all four of them. Absolutely, man.
One of them was very upset.
I'm sorry to hear that. Jeez, that sucks. Because again, take a joke. God, Red Brown was mad at me because I brought up I want to say it was an early 90s movie. He did Space Mutiny. And it's a really bad sci-fi movie. Mystery Science Theater did it. And I said, I saw it at Mystery Science Theater, and his face dropped. I'm like, Reb, it's okay, man. I'm like, they were just having fun with it. It's all right.
Christ.
Come on.
I mean, like this is especially in this fucking industry. It's like, I'm not going to hit a home run every time.
Sure. Yeah, but it was funny. It was funny.
I get a base. Oh, I think Dr. 13 was that was an in the park home run.
Outstanding. That's great.
I would love to do, and I've talked to Cliff about that.
I was going to say Cliff Chang, absolutely. Now that one I remember the artist, absolutely, man.
Like, should we do the other one? And like, because we hinted that there was going to be a sequel.
How about your run on Wonder Woman with Tony Akins?
It was with Cliff. Tony did some fill-ins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then Tony flaked. We got Goran Suzuki. All right, we're done. We're done, John.
He's getting up and leaving, everybody. I don't blame him. I totally understand. Well,
Wonder Woman was great. I really had a good time with that. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
There you go.
With Cliff. Most of the things that I do not based on the character, but based on the people I'm working with.
That's cool.
If Joe Kubert would have said, I want to do Sugar and Spike, I'd be like, well, all right, let's see how that goes. But I'll do it.
That's outstanding. Well, I'm sorry we missed that. But in the meantime, everybody, the Blood Brothers Mother from Distillery, the team is back. Eduardo Riso, Brian Azzarello. It's going to be a great ride, and psyched for the new Boom book.
Yes, please pick it up before it's sold, before it's gone. And also the other Distillery books, they're all really high quality. They've got nothing but really, really dedicated, great creators. And
I agree.
I'm very, very happy to be part of it.
That's great, man. No, and truly, you're right. And I got to bug Mosier and others to get me Jock and the like as they release their Distillery stuff. Because no, I agree with you. A lot of A-listers doing their best. So I'm excited for what's to come from Distillery. I'm really glad that people are gravitating to this new book from you. And again, hopefully you'll come back despite my fumbles today, and we can do this again.
Oh, you know what? Watching you fumble is like one of my favorite things to do.
Thank you, Brian Azzarello. It's going to be.
We'll talk about the next Distillery book.
Please, that'd be great. And again, when is that new book?
That's going to be pretty soon, John.
Oh, and all right. Have they announced it yet or no? Okay, cool. Oh, that's great, Brian. Excellent, man. I understand.
It's going to be longer.
Okay. Listen, I respect you saying you're on your back nine. I hope it's a nice, long, leisurely back nine that we can enjoy for years to come.
Me too.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I worry when you say, I'm almost done. You're not almost done.
I didn't say I was old.
No, I didn't say old. I said almost done.
I am almost done.
Relatively speaking, I get it. Like I said, I'm fine. You don't want to be Will Eisner. You don't want to be Kirby.
No, John. Look, I've been at this for like nearly 30 years.
Do you want to do novels or something else? Or
Me? No, I just want to travel.
attaboy. There you go. Sure.
I'm gonna do.
Are there any ballparks you haven't hit yet in the States that you still want to
Yes,
hit?
there are.
Tell me.
That I haven't hit.
Yeah, you haven't gone to yet. You know what
I haven't been to New Yankee Stadium.
Okay, cool. Have you been to the Mets new stadium? Newish?
Yes.
Okay, that's
A
cool.
number of times. That's nice.
Oh, that's cool. I have to admit, I'm getting very cynical about all four major sports. Because, again, I saw it's weird. I see how the sausage is made kind of in comics. But being in sports radio, as long as I was, it really, if I really never go to another live ballpark, maybe I'll go to minor league games. But yeah, I got to be honest, the top four, it's like, I don't know.
You know what? Go to come out to spring training. That's fun.
Okay, I can appreciate. You know, my cousin has a house in Kissimmee, and he's really close to, whatever majors have those spring.
I think the Tigers are down there.
I know the Astros were. I don't know if they still are.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think they are.
Okay.
I mean, when I go down there during spring training, like I'm like 20 minutes away from Steinbrenner Park.
Cool.
Which is fantastic.
Excellent. I'm looking for more comments here. Nope, mostly nonsense and goodbyes, which is fine. All right, I've kept you long enough. Thanks a lot, everybody. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.